I've always been told that I'm too small. I'm not big enough. I'm not fast enough. I don't have what it takes to be the best and stay there. Sweat is necessary. Walter and Jerry had their heels, never being comfortable with just good enough. It's right now, never. It's right now, never. I prepare so no one can take what is mine. No one can replace my mind, my heart. Lombardi inspired me, and now our biggest prize bears his name. I'm older, of course I'm older. That's the beauty of it. 16 years plus. Different level of wisdom, different level of understanding, different level of punishment. I want to live long after my records are fallen, long after my rings are tarnished. And whatever you got to do to make sure you chase your legacy every second of your life. Who will you be remembered? How would you be remembered? Why wouldn't you fight for the greatest achievement ever? Leave your mark.
Yo. What is good, RFL? We are back again with another installment of the RFL podcast. I'm your host, MDC, your commissioner. I want to welcome you boys back to another rendition of our podcast here. I believe we're in episode 6. 6 episodes down, all available on YouTube. Renegade Sports 1. All our content, all our videos, all our podcasts can be housed there. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you get notifications when we go live with information. Also want to quick shout out our Twitter account, RFL League on Twitter. RFL League on Twitter. Everything that we post, we send notifications out on Twitter. Players of the week, YouTube posts. Status of leagues, even a few tweets about Twitch games. So be sure to follow that and turn your notifications on for that as well. I want to welcome you boys back. We are now in the wild card weekend. Playoffs, fellas. The playoffs. The second season. We here. Season 2. We got some new faces in the playoffs, and we got some familiar faces. We'll go over all that as well. Want to first touch on the playoff schedule. Go back over the matchups and see who plays who in the wild card round, who got a bye. Also want to touch on a few things as far as season stats are concerned, how people finished out the year. Go over the season awards. The season awards were posted on the YouTube channel. Want to go back quickly and I want to let y'all hear that intro from Madden 13. That Ray Lewis intro is one of my favorite intros of all Maddens. They did a really good job that year. I don't think they've topped it since. So I thought I'd break that out as a little flavor twist for y'all for the podcast. But we won't get into a few things, fellas. I just want to cover, like I said, the awards and where we're at in the league, and touch on maybe how the offseason wants to work, if assuming we get these playoffs done quickly. A few administrative tips, and we'll get out of here. But first and foremost, congratulations to everybody that made the playoffs. Those that don't, you got some work to do. We always got to grind and get better, fellas. I mean, this game is not a game you can just turn on and play. I mean, let's be honest here. They made it So you need repetition. You need to be able to play the game on a regular basis, get as many reps as you can. And that's just the way life goes, man. You got to be able to rep things and be good at it. You can't just turn the game on and expect things to happen for you. Now, although I will say in this particular Madden, a lot of random things do happen. I guess they call themselves trying to simulate, real life instances. But a lot of fluke things happen. But I mean, from an overall competitive standpoint, you got to be well versed and get a lot of reps in. Play online games, practice mode, things of that nature to be able to get a feel of the game and get a flow of the game offensively and defensively, and be able to compete at a high level. So I mean, just a quick tip, for those that may be struggling, get in the lab. It's bottom line, man. Get in the lab and get on your grind. Tweak your plays. Maybe try a few different formations, try a few different playbooks, and something may, suit you. Hell, maybe create a custom playbook. With a few different, you might get, 6 or 7 different formations from a couple of different playbooks that you like. You combine them all together in one good playbook, and then you rocking and rolling. But it all boils down to putting that rep in, putting the repetitions in when it comes to, repping your craft. So, I mean, word of advice to do that, and that'll definitely help your game. Over these playoff matchups real quick. In the wild card round, we've got a rematch, NFC West rematch in the LA Rams and the San Francisco 49ers. We got Grove versus Tyke. I can't recall offhand what happened in their game they played right before the season ended. I want to say Grow won that game, but let me double check. Let's see here. Rams. Actually, they hadn't played in a while. I thought they played recently for some reason, but I must be mistaken. But it looks as if the last matchup, the 49ers won pretty handily. I'm not sure if they played head-to-head or if it was a sim. But the Grow beat Tyke 38-17. So I'm sure Tyke is looking for some revenge in that regard, so that should be a good matchup. Maybe we'll get a stream out of that, from them fellas, and get to see that wildcard game. Back to the matchups. In the other NFC matchup, now this is it's a wild one. I mean, it happened right after we advanced. The Giants and the Panthers played. The Giants seemed to be in control of the game for the most part. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole entire game. Really only saw a couple of minutes of the fourth quarter. But they were winning. I think they turned the ball over late in the fourth quarter. And Jalen looked like he was struggling a little bit as far as trying to get a rhythm, and it was snowing. And it was definitely an ugly game. But one particular busted play, Cam Newton rolled out, threw a pass on the run. So I want to say it was Curtis Samuels, looks like. If he kept Curtis Samuels, looked like it was his number. Curtis Samuels had 2 guys draped over him. 2 guys draped over him. 2 guys draped over him as he's catching the ball. He catches the ball, falls down on the ground with the 2 guys, lands on top of them. They fall to the ground. Now, you think that at this point the player is dead. Wrong. Curtis Samuel gets up off the bodies of these 2 guys laying on below him and gets up and runs for a touchdown for about 60, 70 yards. Wildest play I've ever seen in a long time. I've seen that on the internet, but I've never seen it live until now, and it happened. I could do no more shake my head. I mean, that's just Madden fluke at its finest. I really wouldn't, as a person, me personally, I wouldn't be happy about it. But that's, to each his own. But if I was on the, receiving end of that, unfortunate incident, and, Jalen pulled out the victory 15-13, that put him up 2 points. And that was the end of the game. I mean, if I had a drive, they could have came back and took the lead with at least a field goal, but he threw a pick in the end zone. Brought about a minute left, and that sealed his victory. Sealed the victory for the Panthers. So they all move on. Like I said, we're waiting on the winner of the Rams 49ers game. On the AFC side, we've got the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Buffalo Bills. This is a good matchup because they played in the regular season, and they played to a tie. A tie that actually resulted in the Buffalo Bills getting suspended for a game for running a bad play. But the game ended up in overtime into a tie. There was no winner at the end of regulation and in overtime. So the game ended up, it was like 15-15 or something crazy like that. So they get a rematch in the wild card round to see who actually can, reign supreme in that particular matchup, in that particular rivalry. In the last game, we have the Browns versus the Patriots. Patriots started off slow, man. I mean, they looked like they weren't going to get even back to the playoffs to even defend their title. However, few Sim wins and few games won, and Phil was able to squeak in and make the playoffs and win his division. So he'll be playing the wild card Browns in Foxborough. So that'll be a good matchup as well. So we'll get, hope we get a switch out of that game as well to see that matchup and see how that thing checks out. So going back to the standings, so naming those wild card teams. So in the NFC, the Vikings and the Redskins got a bye. The rest of the teams are playing wild card games. And in the AFC, the Steelers and the Chiefs got a bye. The Steelers have the number 1 overall seed at 14-2. And the Vikings actually have the number 1 overall seed at 13-3 in the NFC side. So as long as they keep winning, the championship has to run through those particular stadiums. One is a dome and one is not. So the warm weather Vikings can chill in the confines of their new stadium. But it could be, inclement weather in Pittsburgh if you have to visit there. So it'll be easy. It'll be interesting to see how that thing checks out. So hopefully we can do these playoffs pretty quickly. I want to remind everybody that it is a mandatory maximum of 72 hours to play your playoff games. All right. I understand life happens and things go on and you got other things you need to be doing. It doesn't, involve Madden. I get it. However, if we can hopefully play games within 48 hours, we should be able to play a playoff game within that particular time frame. I only want to give you an extra day because if something comes up, you have a schedule conflict. I don't want to sim a playoff game. But if it runs past 72 hours, fellas, and you haven't given me any just cause of why we even think to wait, it's going to get simmed. Let's be honest with you, because it's not fair to the league to hold up the playoffs for years and years and years because you guys want to take forever to play your game. You can play your game in the regular season, you can play your game in the playoffs in a timely manner. And understand this too, we're up against the holidays. Christmas is next weekend. All right, so we got a playoff season and we got an all season to get through and try to get through it so we don't prolong it past Christmas. All right, so we can get these playoffs done ASAP. We can get the off season done and maybe take a couple of days off and get back at it with a new season. All right, so that's my goal. So we can get that done. I would greatly appreciate it, fellas. So please be engaged and let's try to get that done. All right. So going back to the awards, and I'll touch on some season stats as well. As you know, I posted the videos a few hours ago in regards to who won the the end of the season awards, and it's pretty interesting list. And a few guys that I spotlighted in a few previous podcasts definitely came out in the end, like I said they would. So it's definitely a good showing. Like I said, XP was earned. Pro Bowls were handed out, and it seemed to be a pretty competitive battle down to the wire as far as who got these awards. Guess we'll start with the NFC. My boy, the dark horse, the low draft pick, Gordon Molden cleaned up. First and foremost, let's announce the overall MVP of the league. The overall MVP of the league with 44 sacks on the year was Von Miller. Von Miller just couldn't seem to be blocked by anybody or anything. He terrorized quarterbacks seamlessly and through the entire year with multiple sack games, seemingly every game, and had 44 sacks over 16 games. 16 games, 44 sacks. You do the math. So somebody might want to invest in a good left or right tackle, depending on what side he's on, and maybe block a running back or do something with him, because clearly he one-on-one he's not a person that's going to stay away from your quarterback for long. So good word of advice. Going back to the NFC, the offensive player of the year was Gordon Molden. The defensive player of the year was Jason Pierre-Paul. Going back again to the rookie, for offensive rookie of the year was Gordon Molden again. Gordon Molden, because he picked up 2 awards, I'm going to touch on his numbers real quick. Gordon Molden finished with 1,474 yards rushing and 24 touchdowns. So far and away the Offensive Player of the Year and the Offensive Rookie of the Year because he's his first year in the league. The Defensive Rookie of the Year was Taurus Lawson from the Packers. The best quarterback was Jordan Ryan from the Vikings. The Vikings picked up a rookie quarterback in the draft, and it looks as if he had a pretty good year. Jordan Ryan finished with over 4,000 yards passing with 42 TDs. Pretty good year. 42 TDs, only 25 picks. I had a 104 quarterback rating, so that's pretty good. Best running back, no surprise, Gordon Moden. Gordon Moden again picks up another award, so that will make it 1, 2, 3 awards for this man. He maxed out, so I'm sure his XP is off the charts, so he'll be even better come his first playoff game. The best wide receiver was Montreal Lucky. I believe Montreal plays for the Vikings, so it's kind of like we had a little tandem going on here. You had Jordan Ryan throwing the ball, and you had Montreal Lucky catching. He does play for the Vikings. He does play for the Vikings. He picked up quite a bit of hardware in the end of the season. So I'm looking to see what his stats will look like as far as his attributes are concerned once he gets ready to spend that money. Best D lineman was Jason Pierre-Paul. Best linebacker was Ryan Kerrigan, and best DB was Earl Thomas. Best kicker was Roberto Aguayo. For now, the kicking for the Giants. Very interesting. Picked up from obscurity and free agency. Now he became best kicker over the season. Moving over to the AFC. The Offensive Player of the Year was Kareem Hunt. The Defensive Player of the Year, to nobody's surprise, is Von Miller. The Offensive Rookie of the Year was Todd Potter from the Bengals CPU team. The Defensive Rookie of the Year was Barnett. Let me pull up his information real quick. I'm not familiar with this guy, honestly. Barnett is the Defensive Rookie of the Year, and I didn't spotlight him in my previous podcast as being a player to watch. So he actually came a little bit out of nowhere. So let's see where he comes in at. Barnett. I'm not sure what team he plays for. Okay, Randall Barnett from the Bills. Okay, that's him. Randall Barnett from the Bills. Actually, was a pretty high draft pick. If I'm not mistaken, he's a cornerback. Let's double check it real quick. The Bills. Randall Barnett. Where are you? Mr. Barnett. He is a cornerback, yes. He is a cornerback. He was actually drafted in the first round. 87 overall at this point. Star development. Definitely good pickup. He was Defensive Rookie of the Year. So yeah, that money paid off as far as picking a corner that early. So going back to the list, the best quarterback was Tom Brady. The best running back was again Kareem Hunt. Best wide receiver was AJ Green. To nobody's surprise, Ming was actually playing Von Miller on the line. So the best D lineman was Von Miller. The best linebacker was Jordan Evans from the Chiefs, and the best DB was Marcus Peters. Best kicker was Will Lutz. So that's your awards for the year, fellas. Like I said, I posted a video on YouTube, so you can check that out if you missed the podcast or you missed the post in the franchise. But those are the awards for the year. Touch on a quick number of stats real quick. We'll do the overall leaders for QB categories. To no surprise's surprise, Tom Brady led the league with over 4,000 yards passing, followed by Jordan Ryan. Kareem Hunt led the league in rushing with over $2,000. Reggie Hardwick, Gro actually spotlighted him in the chat earlier, right before the awards came out. He's a rookie from San Fran. He actually finished with 1,471 yards. Interception lead, I'm not going to touch on that. With a little bit of a negative connotation there. However, the defensive leader, as far as tackles, is Jerry Davis. I spoke about him in a few times in the chat about being a player to watch. Linebacker from the Lions. He's actually a really good player. He actually led the leg in tackles. So pretty sure he probably got a Pro Bowl vote. He didn't get the best linebacker, which is odd, but Ryan Kerrigan won it over him, but he definitely got a Pro Bowl bid. The sack leader was Von Miller with actually 46 sacks. I stand corrected. He had 46 sacks at the end of his last game. And the interception leader was Marcus Peters by one which is 12. He had 12 picks on the year, 3 forced fumbles, 33 tackles. Artie Burns was second with 11 picks, 54 tackles, and 1 sack. All right, so those are the season awards, the season stats. And like I said, I'll reiterate how things we want to work as far as the schedule is concerned. We want to get this thing done as fast as possible. I mean, I know it's actually the weekend now, fellas. I'm recording this on Friday night like I normally do, and it's the weekend, so we can, I'll make sure no more activities on the weekend. We can try to get these games in as soon as possible. That'd be great. Like I said, I want to be able to fast track the off season once we get done the playoffs and get done the Super Bowl, and try to get the off season and draft done before everybody, goes their separate ways as far as this holiday is concerned. I know some people may be going out of town or whatever have you, and I don't want anybody to miss. So I want to try to get this done as soon as possible so we can get the draft done. Even if we have to do it on a Friday night or Saturday morning, whatever the case may be, wherever guys can show up. But I definitely want to try to get this done as soon as possible so we can start the season fresh after the Christmas holiday is over. So we can get those games in, fellas. I really appreciate that. One quick note. As far as the status of the league is concerned, fellas, it's a bit of house cleaning yet again. I want to be clear with this about this, fellas, and I want y'all to hear me. This is a players' league. All right, this is a players' league. There is no, fly by the night. I come play when I feel like it type of league here. Like I said, this league is honestly and truly. Let me be honest. There's no, pat on anybody's back, but this league is just like any other league, our brother league, the NFL or whatever. This league is just as competitive as anything out there, and it's probably way better as far as production is concerned than most leagues out there. Probably about 95% of the leagues aren't doing what we're doing for these particular leagues. So understand this is a good league, and we want to put the best product on the field as we can. All right, so with that being said, I need people to be involved. All right, and if you're not gonna be involved, we're all men. Just man up and look, commish, 5, whoever. I can't give a full commitment to the league, and I'm just have to bow out because, it hurts the morale of the league, and it also hurts other people when they have to chase you down for games, or they have to get their games sent because they can't find you, or whatever the case may be. With that being said, man, this is what's going to happen going forward. All right, we're going to keep count of people that don't play their games week to week. All right, going forward, starting next season. So if you have it's almost like an unexcused absence in school. All right, I hate to use kid references, but it is what it is. If you have an unexcused sim, right, and it tallies up to 3 or more in a season, you will be removed from the league. All right, so understand this: if you have 3 unexcused sims, all right, it means you have no justification why you had to sim the game. All right, we're not savages. If you have family issues, health issues, whatever the case may be, if you have a legitimate reason for having to sim a game, then we get it. All right, but if you don't provide justification as to why, and it becomes a pattern or a habit, you will be removed from the league. All right, I'd rather have 20 dedicated people and 12 CPU teams than 30 people that's bullshitting. Let's be real. Let's be real about it. All right. So, because we flourished, with 12, 18, 20, 24 people before. And we've had a great league, great competition, great games. It's quality over quantity. I don't want to have 32 teams and only 18 people playing. That's ridiculous. So what we need to do going forward is play your games. All right. Make your best effort to play your games. If you don't, you will be removed from the league. Bottom line. It's just that simple. All right. I think we all love Madden. We want to play Madden, be competitive, and try to compete for a trophy, just like you would do in any other league. So let's be real about it and just man up and look, either I'm gonna play or I'm not. I won't look at you, and nobody else in my front office will look at you differently if you just mad up and say, you know what, Commissioner, I just can't give a full commitment. I just can't. I got school, I got work, I got family, my kids, whatever. Whatever your reason is, legitimate. Like I said, as long as you a man and tell me what the deal is, I'll salute you and bid you well and welcome you back at another time if your schedule opens up. It's that simple. All right. So having said that, fellas, like I said, it's gonna be pretty, short podcast this time around. I think we stand at about 25, 26 minutes. But I want to say everybody good luck in the playoffs. Hopefully we can see a few games on stream. I'll tweet it out if I can. We get some exposure for the league. Let the public see what we're working with, as far as letting people see how this league runs, how good this league can be. So with that being said, man, I want to say everybody good luck in the playoffs. Let's get these games done quick, and we can move on to the next season, because I'm sure those people that aren't in the playoffs are eager to get back on the stick. So let's get in, let's play these games, and let's get it done. And like I said, let's fight it out and see who's gonna be the next champ. Can Phil repeat, or we're gonna crown a new champion? We're gonna have to see. All right, man. As always, man, if you need anything, hit me up. Me 5, D-Bad, Jarrell, hit them up. Let us know if you need anything, as far as the league's concerned, and tell us what your status is, based upon what I said about those sim penalties. All right, and the rules will be updated as such. I'll have D-Bev update the rules as such, so we'll be in the rules. All right, man. So next time, friendly neighborhood commissioner, MDC, and I'm out.